Look at this. What in the world? I can't believe it. Is that real gold?
The sun had barely risen over the small town of Greenwood when the morning silence was broken by the faint barking of a police dog. The streets were still damp with dew, and the light fog made everything feel slower, quieter, almost as if the world was holding its breath. In that quiet stood Eli, a 9-year-old black boy with curious eyes, holding a small backpack that seemed a little too heavy for his thin shoulders. He walked toward the bus stop every morning, alone. People in town had seen him often, but not many stopped to talk. Maybe it was the color of his skin, or maybe it was the way life in Greenwood worked. Everyone stayed in their own world. But that morning, something in Eli's walk was different. He kept looking back. His steps were careful, almost cautious, and though he looked calm, there was a storm behind his eyes. Across the street, parked near the corner, Officer Daniels sat in his patrol car with his canine partner. Max, a trained German shepherd, strong and smart, the pride of the police department. Daniels had seen the boy before, but this time he noticed something. The boy seemed to be signaling with his hands. Not random gestures, but small, deliberate motions. At first, Daniels thought the boy was just playing. But Max, the police dog, suddenly lifted his head and let out a low growl. Not of aggression, but recognition. Trained to detect hidden signals and stress, Max sensed something was wrong. Daniels narrowed his eyes. "You see it too, buddy?" he whispered, and Max gave a soft bark. The officer started his car slowly and drove closer. Eli didn't run. He just stood still, watching the dog with quiet, intense eyes. As Daniels rolled down his window, Eli made the same hand signal again. Subtle but clear. A quick motion toward the alley behind him. It wasn't a game. It was a call for help. Daniels stepped out. "Hey, son," he said gently, trying not to scare the boy. "You okay?" Eli's lips trembled. He didn't answer. He just pointed once more to the alley and whispered, "Dog will know." Before Daniels could ask more, Max pulled on his leash, hard, dragging him toward the narrow alley. The officer followed, heart pounding. What Max found next froze them both. Behind the dumpster in the shadows lay an unconscious woman, her wrists bound, her breathing shallow. A faint bruise showed on her neck. Nearby, a small van stood with its door half open, a bag of tools inside, ropes and duct tape. Daniels rushed to check her pulse, alive but weak. He called for backup immediately. When he turned back to the boy, Eli stood quietly, tears rolling down his cheeks. "I saw them take her," he whispered. "They told me if I said anything, they'd hurt my mom. So I didn't talk. But I knew the dog would listen." For a moment, the officer just stared. In all his years on the force, he had never seen courage so silent, so pure. Backup arrived within minutes. The woman was rescued and taken to the hospital. The van's owner, a wanted criminal who had escaped from another state, was caught hiding in a nearby shed. All because one little boy had found the strength to trust a dog, when he couldn't trust anyone else. But that was only the beginning. The story spread quickly through Greenwood, little boy saves kidnapped woman. Police dog follows mysterious signal. People, who had never looked at Eli twice, were now talking about him everywhere. Reporters came, cameras flashed, but Eli didn't say much. When asked how he knew to signal the dog, he simply said, "Dogs listen with their hearts." The police chief invited Eli and his mother, Ruth, to the station. They lived in a small house on the edge of town. Ruth worked 2 jobs to keep food on the table. When she entered the station, she looked nervous, holding Eli's hand tightly. Chief Henderson stood up and smiled. "Mrs. Johnson, your son is a hero. Because of him, a woman is alive today." Tears filled her eyes. "He's just a boy," she said softly. "No," the chief replied. "He's proof that real heroes don't need badges." Eli was awarded a Medal of Bravery. Max, the dog, wagged his tail proudly beside him, wearing a small ribbon on his collar. But when everyone clapped, Eli just turned and hugged Max tightly. "I didn't save her," he whispered. "We did." Weeks passed, and the town slowly returned to its routine. But for Eli and his mother, life began to change. The police department started a new program, K9 Buddies, inspired by Eli's story. It aimed to teach children about trust, empathy, and courage through interaction with police dogs. Eli became the first honorary junior volunteer. He spent afternoons at the police kennel, brushing Max, feeding him, learning commands. The bond between them grew beyond words. But deep down, Eli carried a quiet fear. What if the kidnappers had friends? What if someone came after him or his mom? One evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, Eli heard footsteps outside their home. His heart raced. He grabbed Max's training whistle and blew softly. 3 short notes, the same code Daniels had taught him for help. Within minutes, headlights appeared. Daniels arrived, hand on his holster, ready. But instead of danger, there was a delivery truck. Out came the woman Eli had saved, now recovered, smiling, holding a brand new bike. "I never got to thank you properly," she said gently. "You didn't just save me. You reminded me that goodness still exists." Eli smiled shyly. "I just wanted to help." Months later, during a town fair, something extraordinary happened. Eli and Max were invited to lead the parade, the boy who signaled with his hands, and the dog who understood without words. As they walked through the cheering crowd, Eli saw faces that once looked away, now smiling warmly at him. One man leaned toward another and said, "You know, I never really noticed that kid before. I guess heroes come in all colors." And that day, Greenwood changed, not because of one act, but because of one little boy's silent courage that broke a wall built over years. Sometimes, the loudest cries for help come from silence. Sometimes, the smallest hands carry the biggest bravery. Eli didn't have power, money, or even a voice loud enough to be heard, but he had something greater: faith in goodness. He trusted a dog, and that trust saved a life. If a 9-year-old boy can stand up for what's right, imagine what we can do if we start listening not just with our ears, but with our hearts, because courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a little boy's silent signals and a dog who understands.